All right, let's talk about RIVIAN. If some of you remember, my first video on the company was titled, "Is this the easiest short of the decade or the century?" Something like that. The market cap was around $150 billion. Right now, RIVIAN sits at around $25 billion. Now, obviously, it was a no-brainer back then, right? And it's not just RIVIAN that has gone down tremendously since then. It's basically most of the market. But I want to talk about the company right now because we have some news, the letter to shareholders, and then obviously the title of this video is, "Can RIVIAN replicate Tesla's success?" I don't really remember what the title will be, but it will be along those lines. Most of you know I hold Tesla as my biggest position. I've held it for a while now, a couple of years actually. So some of you might say, oh, he's probably going to be bearish on RIVIAN. Maybe. I'm still a very, very big fan of the company. I've said this in the first video as well. I'm a big fan of the company, big fan of its products, and I'm 100% sure it's going to be a successful company. Now, that does not mean that right now, today, makes sense to buy the stock. But we're going to discuss all of that in this video. And again, to answer the question, can RIVIAN replicate Tesla's roadmap, Tesla's plan? We're going to answer that as well, because it's not as easy as it sounds. So let's start. So about 10 days ago, we had the first letter to shareholder. So RIVIAN basically told shareholders it wants to ensure that the $17 billion that they have in cash can support their plans through 2025, when it expects to launch and ramp up production of its second EV platform, the R2 midsize SUV. Now, this year, the company expects to produce 25,000 vehicles. That includes its R1 platform trucks, as well as electric delivery vans, the EDVs, for Amazon. And it says it has more than 90,000 reservations for its R1 trucks, in addition to Amazon's order of 100,000 EDVs. So not too bad. But then again, with the ongoing supply chain issues, with the ongoing macro market environment going downhill, basically, some things might change pretty rapidly. Now, to compare it to Tesla, right? Tesla back in 2013, 2014, as you can see on the graph right here, delivered back in 2013, 22,400 vehicles, 2014, 32,000 vehicles. So RIVIAN is around that period right now. But if you remember, Tesla back in 2014 wasn't really the best investment you can make, right? It remained flat, if not down, for a couple of years. Now, obviously, fast forward to 2022, it's a tremendous investment and still is to this day. But can you say the same for RIVIAN right now? If we take RIVIAN, we put it in the same scenario. Is RIVIAN right now in that 2013-2014 phase of Tesla, which means that in the next coming years, you won't be making any money of your investment, but in the next 10 years or so, that will be a tremendous investment? Now, the answer to that question is yes and no. Now, before I answer that, if you want to support this channel, check out the link in the description below to get the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to fool.com/couch investor. Because shall I remind you, you can make much more money during a bear market than during a bull market. Or maybe some of you just like to buy high and sell low. That's your decision. All right, so going back to answering that question, can RIVIAN replicate Tesla's success back in 2013, 2014, and fast forward to now 2022? So the answer is yes and no. Now, Tesla back then, 2013, 2014, 15, 16, 17, up till, well, let's say 2021 or so, really had no competitors, right? It was probably arguably the only biggest company, the EV company in the United States, that was building EVs, which means it basically had the whole supply chain for itself, right? Batteries, chips, which eventually they started making themselves, but everything you needed to build your EV, they had it for themselves, since nobody else was really going into that business back then, right? Everybody was still producing ICE vehicles. RIVIAN didn't exist. Lucid didn't exist. nobody was really there to buy up the supply chain. You can obviously not say the same thing right now. Right now, every other big car maker in the world is starting to make EVs. And what you need to make EVs? A lot of batteries. So you'll have a lot of demand for batteries and the supply will be, well, for now, the supply is low, and for the years to come, the demand will just go up and the supply needs to follow. Now, will that happen? That remains to be seen. Probably there's going to be another shortage or just a slowdown of the overall production because, well, you just need too many batteries and not enough people can make great batteries right now. This is one of the huge differences that you can put here with Tesla and every other car maker that goes into EVs right now, whether it's Rivian, Lucid, you name it, right? They do not have the luxury that Tesla had before. So to answer already the question there, no, Rivian will not have it as easy as Tesla. But Rivian does have $17 billion, which means it can still operate through 2025 and still burn that cash because, well, it obviously needs to burn that cash if it wants to ramp up and produce those vehicles, deliver them on time, and then ramp up the R2 platform as well. It has the cash. Tesla back then did not have that cash. That's why it was a super risky investment. So you have the positive, you have the negative here as well. Now, another main difference here is obviously the fact that they're both attracting different type of customer bases, right? Tesla Model 3, Model Y, the prices there are much lower than Rivian's vehicles, right? Rivian attacks the adventure type of driver with its R1T, a truck, and the R1S, the SUV, both around $70,000. So definitely not on the cheaper side like the Model 3 and the basic Model Y. And also Rivian's CEO said that by 2025, they plan to launch 6 models. Now, if you ask me, I don't think that will happen. First of all, it's too much to handle and might not even be a good financial play. And with the current market environment, that means they have less than 3 years time to launch 6 models. I don't think they'll achieve that. They already have the R1 platform, they already have the Amazon vans, and then they want to start the R2 platform. That should be enough for now. Now maybe add another model, and that will be a cheaper model to attract another type of customer to Rivian. Because as of now, as you've seen, it's pretty expensive, right? $70,000, that's the minimum for a truck. Yes, those products are extremely popular. Again, I'll repeat myself because most of you will probably think, oh, he's bearish because he's bullish Tesla. No, I like the vehicles. I like the tech behind it. I like all the options that you can have with the SUV or the truck. I think it's going to be a huge success, but the numbers don't lie, right? It's expensive. It's more expensive than Tesla, but then again, different type of target audience. So maybe launching a cheaper model might attract more customers. And also with the vans, the 100,000 order from Amazon, if that's a success and Amazon likes it, they might order more. As you've seen in my last video with Amazon, we talked about the fuel prices. That's going to add around $10 to $13 billion in costs. Maybe other companies like UPS, like FedEx might say, maybe we should order some vans as well. Who knows? That's going to be seen in the next coming years. So to conclude, to answer the question, could Rivian replicate Tesla's success? In my opinion, not as easily as many might think. Yes, the money is there, so that's buying themselves time. So money can buy you time, but money will not be buying you the supply chain success and luxury that Tesla had before. That's just impossible right now, especially with every other big car maker out there starting to build EVs. You can have as much money as you want, it won't help, right? Because the production needs to start, supply needs to be there, and it just isn't there at the moment. But to repeat myself again and again and again, in the long term, I do strongly believe that Rivian will be a huge success. Now, buying it at a $25 billion market cap, is that a good idea? Probably not. I think it can go much lower. But then again, you can build up your position as with every other position out there. The biggest mistake you can make, and that's probably what a lot of retail investors have been doing for a while now, otherwise they wouldn't be complaining, is building your position way too fast. What's the rush? There is no rush. You can build up your position dollar cost average. If you're not dollar cost averaging in a market like today, you will never dollar cost average. What's the point, right? You just had an 80% discount on some stocks here, 50%, 60%. Tesla is down 60%. Don't you want a dollar cost average? If the answer is no, then maybe you shouldn't be buying any stocks out there. That's just my opinion, but that's the opinion of great investors as well. So overall, I like the brand. I think it's going to be a success. Is it a good buy right now? I think Tesla is a better buy, especially at current prices. But to answer the question of this video, RIVIAN is going to be a success, maybe not as successful as Tesla. Obviously, do share your thoughts down in the comments below. Do you own some shares of RIVIAN? Do you own a RIVIAN truck or SUV? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you enjoy this type of videos, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, maybe hit that subscribe button, and I see you all in the next video. Bye bye.